Good morning. Hi, Stacy. This is Walking in My Shoes, and we are loving my veteran this morning. Get some coffee in, it's always helpful. There's something about coffee that makes the day better. So it is our Fabulous Friday edition because we're going to start doing this every Friday. We found that it makes us so much better. It bookends our week, lets us take count of our victories for the week, things that we've accomplished that were good, things that we get us set for the weekend in a better mood. Fabulous Fridays. It is so important that we learn to accept our victories and always stay positive and look at the fact that just because we think it's been a negative doesn't mean that it is, doesn't mean anything about it being negative. Sometimes what we look at setbacks are really victories in disguise. And that's part of what we celebrate on Fabulous Fridays is the victories in disguise. We have them all. We all have them. So I want to just take some time, take a few more sips of coffee, and let's start talking about our Fabulous Friday and where we're at and what our victories have been. So for me, it has been a great week. It was a trying week, let's just put it that way, but it ended up on a great note, and that's what Fabulous Fridays are about. Where did we end up on this great note? Where did we start out? Where did we go? So my mom had surgery a week ago today, and she is doing amazing, amazing. She had her shoulder done. So we came up here to be with her. Stephanie finally got notification. I'm so proud, Stephanie. So we came up here to be with her, and we're at the lake, and of course the lake is always beautiful. But when we left, there was that tropical storm, and it was going to go over our house, and then it came up here, and so there's all this tension. Like how is my house going to fare? What are things going to be like in the unknown? And then we're here, and then we're thinking about what kind of damage could be done here, and so your whole week is kind of pulling together all these things. And so while I'm thinking about the things that might need to be done or situations we may have, and the bad, what ended up happening? Let's see. I spent a week with my mama. So I spent a week with my mom. I got to have conversation with her. She's doing amazing. Her range of motion is good. Every day is a victory in that. And so I've watched what we thought could have been a really rough surgery. Now, of course, she's going to PT today, so we'll cross that bridge. What I thought was a really rough surgery has turned into her being able to do so much more than what I think. And when I live this far away from her, it's kind of hard because you don't want to just go. You don't want to just leave. You're in this protective. Is she going to be okay? And absolutely, she's done amazingly well. Good morning, everybody. And yes, she is doing fabulous. So that is my victories in Fabulous Friday. My victory in Fabulous Friday is that what started out that could have been, here you're coming to surgery, you got a mom who's, making sure she's okay. We're leaving a house in a storm. We're in a house in a storm. We have all this going on. I'm staying a little longer than what I thought. So medication transfers. So I had all this stuff on my plate. And now I get to sit back and look at it and say, wow, we've accomplished this and this and this. And some things turned out okay. And that makes it a Fabulous Friday. So that is where we go. We stay tied up in the good. And that's what Fridays are about for me. It is to take the week, take all the stuff that's been added, and just take, good morning, Nakia, just take stock in where you are. Oh, Milo, I think, wants to come be part of Fabulous Friday. So Milo just came running up on the deck. So I'm doing Fabulous Friday from the front deck at my mom's and overlooking the lake, which is absolutely fabulous. So those are the kind of victories that we gain and we all need. Do not eat my English muffin, Milo, or it will not be a fabulous anything. No. So sorry. Milo thinks he's going to have my breakfast. That's not happening. That is what we gain from our weeks. What were your challenges? What were your victories? Sometimes it may accidentally be your shoe being thrown away, but your victory in that Fabulous Friday is that somebody did something that and went above and beyond, and so the shoe got dropped in the middle of it. Who cares? And that's the victory behind the Fabulous Fridays. Where are you counting for the good? Where are you looking at a situation? Take yourself out of whatever bad you think has happened this week. Take yourself out of it. Step out of it. Look at it objectively, because you're not going through it right this minute. Look at it objectively and see where your Fabulous Fridays lie. What objectively has been accomplished? Look at it and start counting it up. Stephanie says her victory is being forced to take care for her and healing and go into the beach tomorrow morning. That's right. That's right. Because I don't know about y'all, but something about the beach for me is just like totally relaxing. It's like the waves come in and they wash all the bad back out to sea. They come in and they wash all the bad back out to sea, and just washed in that rhythmic, come in and just wash it all out to sea. And I will tell you, I didn't know this. I knew this, but I guess I didn't pay attention to it. Sometimes changing geography can get you out of a funk. Nothing in my life really changed over the past week. Nothing that I was going through got any less stressful or any less differently. And some of it, but I was like really getting in this funk, and it's sitting in the house all the time. And I was like, these walls are closing in, and they weren't. I mean, I have a great view of the house, but to change geography and see the lake and see things different, sometimes it's changing the geography that matters. Sometimes it's changing the geography that matters, because when you change the geography, you get to step out of the situation. It's hard to see the outside when you're in it. So it's hard to become objective when you're sitting in it. So take that time sometimes and step out of the geography. Even if it means taking you a sandwich, a cold drink, a Diet Dr. Pepper, or whatever it may be, and go and sit at a park, take a bike ride, take a walk. Changing that geography will allow you to become more objective. I don't care how big your house is, the walls close in on you when you are staying stuck in a situation sometimes. So taking that step out will change your geography, change your mindset, and allow you to look at things differently. And your mindset is a huge deal. So if you're going to take your step out and you're going to step out of it and say, you know what, I've had a crappy week. It's all crappy. Let me just tell you how crappy it is. This is my crappy week. I feel so bad. Yeah, you do. We all go through that. That's not something new. It's a crappy week. This is the crap that I've been through. This is whatever. And you're now want to clear your head, but you clear your head, and the mindset is you're taking your step out, and you take your step out and you want to clear your head. And so your head becomes, I'm taking a step out and look at all the bad things that happen. Stop. When you take that step out to clear your head, look for the positive going out. When you can determine that. The only person who can set that mind tone is yourself. So when it's time to take a step out, no matter how bad the situation is, when it is time to take the step out, take your step out and look and count your victories, look at your accomplishments, but you have to do it in a positive mindset, because if you don't, you're going to wallow in the negative. So take count of your positive victories. We all have them. We all have them. Things may have happened. We go through ups and downs. And Sarah's right, there's ups and downs of it. There's always ups and downs. We always go giveless. You have to give yourself, getting out, giving yourself respite, changing your geography is a big part of taking care of yourself. It is. It absolutely is. Absolutely is. I said as a paramedic, for a long time, It didn't matter. We could have had 40 ambulances on, okay? And we were busy. And we usually ran 17 ambulances on a shift. And we were busy in Savannah. And like you could just hear the calls drop, right? And the only person that I ever felt like it on days that ever got a call was us. You need to go, you need to go, you need to go, you need to go. Well, of course, when you're on a call, you're not paying attention to who else is going on a call. So in my mind, I was the only one going on a call because I could only see as far as my own dashboard. You can see out your window, looking out at your own dashboard, as I call it. So I only saw what we were going through, and I was guilty. I was guilty of that. Hold on, y'all. My mama needs some help. I can hear her. Hold on. I'll be right back. Mama, you all right? Are you okay? Okay. Sorry, y'all. I had to go check my victories, and my mama was fine. But what I'm saying, coming back to this, is you only saw as far as your own dashboard. Okay? You only see as far as your own dashboard. So you just see the negative. But when you can take a step back, and we would do that a lot. When we would do that a lot. We would go stand up on the top deck of the parking garage to get a break, and other ambulance crews would go up there, and we started talking about our day. And then we realized that they were as busy, or their call was worse than ours, or whatever. We realized all that was going on. You realized then, and only then, did you realize that their dashboard was as busy as yours. So you had to get a different perspective. You had to get a different perspective. And that was just how things were. So it is so important that you understand when you're going to go pull yourself out of these negatives, and you've had what you think is a bad week. Look at it from a different perspective. As Carl says, remove yourself from the situation. If you're not removed enough, remove yourself again. If you're not removed enough, remove yourself again. So you can look at it objectively. But instead of looking at it completely objectively, I want you on Fabulous Fridays to look for your victories, because there are victories in amongst everything you do. There are victories amongst everything that you do. It may not always seem that way. And when you're in the negative, and when you're in the situation, you do not always see that victory. But you will find positive in every situation, even if it's a learning experience. You will find that victory. You have to look for it. Because and I've said this before, and I don't know why this works. It's like, it seems to me that happy would generate more happy. It is so much easier to let negativity, whatever it is, negativity pulls you down so much more than happy. You know, I remember the adage growing up. My dad used to say it all the time. Two rights don't get rid of your wrong. And you kind of lived this, that your wrongs were here, right? And negative wrongs always weighed harder than anything else. How many times when we get into an argument or a disagreement with our spouse, do we throw up the negative? I do it. Y'all know I vomit, so I'm going to tell you right now, I do it all the time. It's like, well, you did this, and we can be arguing about a situation, or having a disagreement about a situation, and I bring up the wrongs. He brings up the wrongs. When you argue, you do that. Don't ask me why. It's just something that we do. But how often in an argument do you bring up the rights? Do you stop and say, hey, wait a minute, we're talking about this, but look, yes, instead of me saying, well, last week you did this and this, and they're negative, if I would change the mindset and say, baby, look at where we are. Last week we did this and this, and they're positive, it would change the way our dynamics. It would change the dynamic of the argument, but we don't, because negativity draws in negativity. So when you're thinking about your fabulous Fridays, you need to stop thinking about it with the negativity. Think about it with the positive. Think about it in the positive sense. We've been to sporting events. Some of us have been to sporting events. Some of us have been to concerts. Some of us have been to all kinds of places that we've seen positive in action. The wave, back in the day when everybody did the wave in the stadiums, they were all standing up. That started with one person, okay? That started with one person going, whoo, and sitting down. And the next person next to him finally went, whoo, and then they sat down. And before long, the whole stadium did it, right? And everybody got absorbed in the positive. Everybody got absorbed in that positive. So positive can have the same contagious effect. It just takes a little longer to kick in. And we don't do that. We let that weight, that negative, just come push you down and push you down and push you down. And we don't absorb the positive and celebrate the positive, because you can get as excited about the positive as you get discouraged about the negative. Okay. And just use simple things we've all learned from the very beginnings of time. You got a negative over here and you got a positive sitting over here, and in between them is dead neutral. Okay, that's the reality of what life is. A negative here, a positive here, neutral in the middle. So you can be pulled from either side to get to that neutral. Negative is always subtracting. To me, it's the minus sign. It's always subtracting. The negative subtracts from your good. The negative subtracts and pulls your happiness out, and it just gets rid. It just weighs you down. It's like I love a chocolate chess pie, and it's cut in so many pieces, and I enjoy the first piece, and then I got it all counted out in my head, and somebody comes and eats my chocolate chess pie, and I'm sad because there's not as many pieces left for me because they subtracted from my pie. When in reality, I could flip that around and say, the positive is I got to spend time with them enjoying the pie. So how do you look at it? How do you look at things? When you start to see the positive, it wasn't that somebody ate my chocolate chip pie. It was I enjoyed the time and having it with them. We forget that. We forget that. So again, whatever your negatives were that you think you had this week, and we all have them, look at them and say, what did I learn from it? What did I learn from that negativity? And more importantly, how much of that negativity dragged me down, and where were the positives that I have that I can put into my positive side and recharge? What positives did I have this week? Little things add up quick. Little things add up quick. We talk about the negativity. You keep holding it in. You keep holding it in. It becomes like this big, ugly zit that festers, right? We talk about that. But do we talk about the positives? Do we talk about the positives? You start bringing the positives and bringing the positives and bringing the positives. And then it's like releasing confetti. There's something about being somewhere in an environment when they stage events. I remember going to Joyce Meyer, and when they stage events, y'all, when they were at the peak of celebrating, like the balloons fell out of the ceiling and the confetti went everywhere. You win the Super Bowl, there's confetti flying everywhere, and there's balloons flying everywhere, and everybody is happy. Even the losing team fans kind of get happy in the moment because they celebrate their positives. Put all your little positives into your confetti thing and throw them up at the end of the day. So she said, it's sad when you're trying for your victory and others from the outside think they need to inject their negativity. And it's true. It's true. But Sarah, I want you to think, and I'm not divulging what happened to you, but I want you to think about that negativity that came into your life that day. What happened as a result? Your veteran opened up and shared in a way we've wanted him to, you've wanted him to, I've wanted him to, in such a great manner, shared that he wouldn't have done. So while it was negative, and you look at the flip side, positive came out of that. Positive came out of that moment. That is what it's about when you count your victories. When you count your victories. Was it a crap thing? Yes. But did something positive come out of it? Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a catalyst that created a positive situation. Doesn't always seem like it when you're wallowing around in it, but there is positives in it. That's what I'm talking about. You just have to step out. Yes, just like he didn't get mad over the toilet brush. Take these steps back. And you may not see the positive in a situation every day. Sometimes you have to take back. And that's why I really do practice Fabulous Fridays. I make a concerted choice on Fridays to celebrate victories, to write them down, to take all the negative that we've had and make it positive. Because let me tell you, Carl has been a jackass all week. Bad. Okay. Like, he made a comment the other night. He said, I might just go for a walk and put concrete cinder blocks on and walk off the pier. And I'm like, well, would you like me to help you put your shoes on? Literally. Okay. I mean, he wasn't serious about it, but like that. But I'm like, do you want me to put your shoes on? That was the week we had. And so I'm like, oh my God, all this is going on. And what in the name of God's earth finally is all creeped in that did this? So I sat back and I was talking to somebody yesterday about it, and I started to take account of the positives. We left our house we weren't quite sure of when he left, but you know what? He wanted to protect it. So where he was uptight over it, and I'm like, we got renter's insurance. Let's just go on about our business. It's fine, right? I mean, we got insurance. It's good. And the things that really matter, me, you, and the fuzzy little things, the furry children are here. So what does it matter? But that's his home. And that means for the first time in a very long time, he felt home. He felt that our house was a home. Okay? So while that was negative, and it really created a lot of stress all week, when I sat back and I looked at it, it was home. So there was one. Then we're here and, watching my mom and doing these things. And he is fiercely protective of her and making sure all the things are done. And she has two neighbors on both sides because this is like a vacation place and they're not always here. So what did he do? He wanted to make sure that their house was taken care of. Were the chairs going to blow? Was the lawn furniture going to go somewhere? I'm like, it does it all the time. It storms all the time. But for him, it was helping out the people that help my mom when we can't be here. Okay. And so again, what was he doing? He was protecting home and paying back for the people that had helped my mom. And I'm like, you're driving me nuts. And then when I sit back and look at it, that was his way, even though he got worked up over it, it was his way of making sure that he repaid the people that take care of my mom when we can't be here, that look out for her, that do the little things for her that she can't do, like change the light bulb over her head. That was his way of saying, hey, thanks. So when I started to pull all the pieces apart, and I started to take these things that had driven me crazy all week, all these things that were driving me nuts all week, that were just adding to, like, you've got to stop, you're driving me crazy. When I stepped out of it and I looked at it and I'm like, wait a minute, he's finally comfortable home. He finally has one that he feels he needs to protect. That's a huge victory. The fact that he loves my mother and has this relationship that she is like his mom too, that is a victory. And I didn't see it that way in the moment. And that's when you start to take account of all the victories that you know, we've been struggling, and y'all know this, we've been struggling fighting. That's why I really relate to the veteran, you know, in getting the disability and stuff situated, and all the hoops you have to jump through with them. And so all the pieces finally started to fall into place this week. And all of a sudden, you know, that stamp of like, your life doesn't matter. I was really stressed yesterday, had a lot of phone calls to make to work on some things. And I took it as a stamp. And so that kind of got resolved. And there was a lot of stress leading up to it. So now I get to sit back today and say, look, here's your victory. You know, we officially went out and at the 1 year anniversary and created Loving My Veteran as a true corporation. And so there's lots of stuff that we do with attorneys and, you know, accountants to make sure we get everything dead on right so we can continue to grow this business. And it's a lot of work. There's a lot of little pieces that go into it. And, you know, we have an amazing board of directors who are helping do so much, but it's a lot of stress. And then I sit back and I'm like, you know, we officially, this is our birthday month. Yesterday was the official date, 1 year yesterday. But I go back and I look at, you know what? All of these little things you're going through are victories, because look at where we are. And my mom joined us last night on Let's Talk, and she came out because we literally formed this at her table out on the porch. And she came out with her bowl of ice cream. And to see, because we did it over ice cream, to see this woman who just had shoulder surgery, who kind of knows all y'all from just me. So to see her sitting there eating her bowl of ice cream, celebrating with us. And I remember when I first started this, she said, Stacy, the only thing I ask is that you stick to it. And I said, and she said, however it grows, it will grow. I just need you to stick to it. And I did. And so even with all the frustrations we have at times, she came back and she said, stick to it. And it's made it worth it. And those are the victories. Those are the things you celebrate on Fabulous Fridays. Those are the things you take care of. Those are the things that you look at. In amongst all the stuff, there are victories, and they make you fabulous. They are the good in your life, because if we just wallow in the negative, we're never going to find good. So that is the challenge today. You need to sit down today, somewhere today, riding down the road, doing whatever. Keep your little notepad, do it in your phone, keep a mental note, whatever. I like to tangibly see what we've accomplished, so I write a lot. Write down those victories. Look at what you've done. Look at what you do. Look at what you are. Yes, your mama's telling me that you're strong every day from heaven, and you are strong, Sarah. You are stronger than you will ever know. Just like I told your other half last night. You are on here every single day because you loved him, and you love him. And while there are still things, and that's another thing, this is your victory. While there are still things and still times that drive you nuts. And he looked and he listened to me, and he was, your other half was like, wow, I never saw it that way. It is so much that where she decided to stay and do. Those are our victories. Celebrate your victories. Celebrate them all. Look in amongst your negative and find your positive. Look at those every day. Every day. And you're going to find, but Fridays is the day that I truly set aside to say, What have we accomplished this week? Where are we at this week? Where are we at? What have I accomplished? Because I don't care how many times you think you're sliding backwards, you're learning something from your backsliding that is going to be beneficial to you going forward. So even if you feel like you're taking steps backwards, and sometimes we have to do that, you're not really taking step backwards. You're pausing. You are pausing. You're pausing. Sometimes you need to pause. It's not a step backwards. You are pausing because you're thinking about what you've learned. You're not really going backwards. Going backwards is going back to where you were with the same skills and tools that you had then and not learning how to go forward out of it. Does the situation go backwards sometimes? Yes. Do I go back to my old ways sometimes? Yes. Do I say things like I didn't do that I shouldn't have done? Yes. I do that. We all do that. But you're not going backwards because the difference is today you have the skills and the knowledge and the practice to realize, hey, this is what caused this, even though you're not using it at that moment. When you step out, right? When you step out, you can do this and you can look at things and you can say, wait a minute, I'm not backwards. The situation just went back to where it was. I'm still moving forward. That is your victories. And that's what I encourage every one of you to do. Take up your victories. It is Fabulous Friday. Fabulous Friday. Get on your victory plan today. What are your victories? You know, we do our victory wall. We talk about our victory wall. I'm gonna paint. Carl doesn't know this yet, but I'm gonna paint. And when I do, I'm gonna redo my victory wall and I'm gonna put my victories up. But you're gonna see there are our victories, there are my victories, and there are his victories. And then now we've added to ours things that I need to work on. So I know. And then when I know that these are the negative things I need to fix, and as we get to them, we accomplish and we conquer that, I can move it to the victory side. That's right. Baby steps. Baby steps that lead to the better journeys. You can't jump off the thing. You know, people talk about like the miracle weight loss, the miracle this, the miracle that, the wake up look. You ever seen somebody who really I got to look younger, and, you know, rather than good skin regimen, staying out of the sun, whatever, but they go to wherever to get the Botox and their face is all. That's what happens when you jump off the deep end. We don't need to do that. It's the baby steps. But when you look at all the baby steps, look at all the victories. That's your Fabulous Friday. I got to get off of here. Mom goes to PT today. So excited for that. Because I'm waiting to see her PT tell her how wonderful it is. Oh, and I'm taking a little side trip when we're there, because we have to wait between that and picking up the groceries at the Walmart. I am going to Ralph's Barbecue, one of my favorite places ever. And I can only get it here because this is like good East Carolina barbecue. Makes me truly happy. So I'm going to go get me a little bowl of East Carolina barbecue where we use vinegar and no red stuff up in our barbecue. So I'm going to go do that. Y'all have a blessed weekend. It is Fabulous Friday. Take a hold of all of your victories. Look at them. Assess where you are. And you're going to realize that even in the midst of a bad week, you had a fabulous week. That will lead you into the mindset. These are the little victories that happened, and they made me a fabulous week. Y'all have a blessed day. I'm Stacy. This has been Walking in My Shoes, and we are loving my veteran. And we will talk to you soon.